Blackheads are one of the most common forms of acne, and preventing them usually depends less on dramatic treatments and much more on calm, consistent habits that keep pores from becoming clogged in the first place. A blackhead forms when oil, dead skin cells, and debris collect inside a pore, and the top of that material is exposed to air, which makes it darken. So the basic goal is to reduce buildup while also keeping the skin barrier comfortable and not irritated. A gentle routine is usually the most reliable routine. Wash your face with a mild cleanser and lukewarm water in the morning and again at night. And if you sweat heavily after exercise, outdoor work, or a long, humid day, wash afterward in a gentle way instead of letting sweat, sunscreen, and oil sit on your skin for hours. What usually does not help is scrubbing your face like a kitchen pan, washing over and over all day, using rough cloths, or grinding harsh exfoliants into your skin in frustration. Blackheads are not a sign that you are dirty, and too much washing or scrubbing can leave the skin red, tight, and irritated, while the clogged pores stay right where they are. It is also very wise to resist the urge to squeeze, pinch, scrape, or dig at blackheads with your nails or random tools at home, because that can increase inflammation and can leave marks or even scars that linger much longer than the original clogging. Choose skincare, makeup, sunscreen, and hair products labeled non-comedogenic, oil-free, or less likely to clog pores when possible. And if you use oily hair products like pomades, waxes, or rich leave-in treatments, keep them away from the forehead, temples, and cheeks, because those areas often react badly to extra residue. Remove makeup fully before going to sleep. Change pillowcases and face towels regularly, and try not to rest your face in your hands for long periods while reading, watching television, or sitting at a computer. If your skin tolerates active ingredients, salicylic acid can help loosen dead skin and clear pore buildup, and adapalene can also be useful because it helps keep pores from clogging over time. But the best approach is usually to start slowly, use one active product at a time, and stay steady rather than attacking your face with 4 strong products all at once because you got impatient on a Tuesday. A lightweight moisturizer can still be helpful even if your skin is oily, because irritated, dehydrated skin often becomes harder to manage. And sunscreen matters too, especially if you use exfoliating products or retinoid-type ingredients, so a comfortable, lightweight sunscreen is worth finding. Improvement with blackheads often takes time, so think of prevention as maintenance instead of punishment. Calm, regular habits generally do more for the skin than occasional panic. And if your acne becomes painful, widespread, deep, or starts leaving scars or dark marks, getting advice from a clinician makes more sense than endlessly experimenting in your bathroom and hoping for a miracle by Saturday. Now that the practical part is done, let us leave the mirror behind and travel to a small town in the United States where pores were never discussed at breakfast, but pie, weather, and folding chairs were discussed with the seriousness of constitutional law. The town was called Maple Hollow, Pennsylvania, and if you drove through it too quickly, you might miss the whole place, which would be a mistake because Maple Hollow contained the kind of life that only looks quiet from a distance. There was a diner with cinnamon buns the size of catcher's mitts, a pharmacy that sold both blood pressure monitors and maple fudge, a white-steepled church with a choir that loved a dramatic finish, and at the center of town, both spiritually and geographically, the Chestnut Street Senior Center, a low brick building with a crooked flagpole, 3 squeaky doors, and an event calendar so overbooked that newcomers often needed a nap just reading the bulletin board. Every Wednesday, the Senior Center hosted the Lunch and Laugh Social, which in theory was a modest meal followed by cards or music, and in practice was a full civic pageant involving casseroles, side conversations, competitive friendliness, and an astonishing quantity of napkins. The unofficial queen of the place was 74-year-old Evelyn Harper, a retired middle school secretary with silver curls, sensible loafers, a cardigan for every season, and the kind of posture that made even folding chairs behave better in her presence. Evelyn's closest friend was Frank Dugan, age 79, a widower, former appliance repairman, lifelong teller of stories, and owner of a brown felt hat that he insisted was lucky, even though it had never once affected the outcome of anything measurable. Frank believed three things with great conviction. Coffee should be hot, pie should be honest, and people who said they were just stopping by for a minute were almost always lying. On one bright September morning, when the air already smelled faintly of apples and dry leaves, Evelyn arrived at the senior center carrying a cherry cobbler and found the front lobby in active confusion. Doris Pratt, who chaired hospitality with the intensity of a woman managing troop movement, was rearranging sugar packets into tidy rows. Howard Bloom stood on a chair trying to tape up a banner that read, "Welcome Friends," though the letter C kept curling inward and making it look faintly judgmental. And Marla Jensen, the 35-year-old activities director, stood at the front desk, holding 3 clipboards, and the expression of a person who had not expected to spend the prime of her life mediating arguments about deviled eggs. "Morning," Evelyn said. "Who's upset, and how many of them deserve it?" Marla looked up in relief. "Too early to know. But Mrs. Kelton says the fruit salad bowls are in the wrong emotional location." "What does that mean?" Frank asked, appearing through the side door with 2 bags of dinner rolls. "I don't know," Marla said, "and I'm afraid to ask." The Wednesday lunch and laugh social was more important than outsiders understood, because once a month, on the first Wednesday, the center also awarded the Copper Spoon, a ceremonial trophy given to the resident voted most helpful, cheerful, and generally community-minded that month. The Copper Spoon was not actually copper. It was a large kitchen spoon spray-painted metallic orange-brown and mounted on a walnut plaque sometime in 1998 by a volunteer named Jean, who had been told to make something nice and interpreted that with startling freedom. Nevertheless, the Copper Spoon mattered. It stood in a glass cabinet by the craft room, and winning it meant your photo went on the bulletin board and people said things like, "Well deserved," in tones that ranged from warm sincerity to controlled disappointment. This month's leading candidates were Doris Pratt, because she had organized the blood drive, Harold Nance, because he had fixed the bird feeder, and, according to Frank, probably Mabel because people are hypnotized by her lemon squares. At 10:15, while volunteers were setting out place cards and deciding how much parsley was too much parsley, the first strange thing happened. Mabel Keene, 76, former church treasurer and baker of legendary lemon squares, marched into the lobby with a dish towel over one shoulder and announced, "The Copper Spoon is gone." Silence spread across the room like spilled gravy. Howard nearly dropped the tape. Doris froze mid-sugar row. Frank set down the rolls. Evelyn turned slowly toward the glass cabinet by the craft room. The middle shelf was empty. The little velvet square where the trophy usually sat was bare, except for a faint outline in dust and one lonely peppermint wrapper. "Gone as in moved?" Marla asked, hopefully. "Gone as in not there," Mabel said, "which is the disappointing kind of gone." Within minutes, half the building had gathered around the cabinet. Mr. Renshaw squinted at the lock. Betty Alvarez put one hand to her chest. Someone in the back whispered, "Well, it has finally happened," though nobody clarified what exactly had finally happened. Evelyn stepped closer and examined the shelf. "No broken glass," she said. "No scratches on the lock." Frank pointed at the peppermint wrapper. "That means either a thief likes candy or a volunteer is clumsy." "That does not narrow it much," Evelyn replied. Marla fumbled for a pen. "Okay, nobody panic." Doris turned toward her. "Honey, that is the official sentence people say right before a room full of retirees become detectives." By 10:30, the mystery had taken over the day. The lunch and laugh social was still technically happening, but now every tray of rolls and bowl of slaw seemed merely decorative beside the question of who had taken the Copper Spoon and why. Evelyn and Frank, who had solved precisely 0 crimes in their lives, but possessed the exact confidence of 2 people who believed they could begin at any time, found themselves unofficially in charge of the search, because Evelyn was practical and Frank was curious, a combination that in small towns often becomes leadership by accident. "We start with the obvious," Evelyn said, pulling a legal pad from Marla's desk. Who had access to the cabinet? Anyone in the hall, Marla said. But the key is usually in my desk drawer. Usually? Frank asked. Marla winced. Today I left it on the craft table while I helped move tables. Doris folded her arms. So we are dealing with opportunity and administrative optimism. First, they questioned the morning volunteers. Howard Bloom had been on chair duty and swore he had not gone near the cabinet because craft glitter gives me hives of the spirit. Betty Alvarez had been slicing tomatoes in the kitchen and presented 3 witnesses plus a cutting board to prove it. Mabel Keene had been making coffee and would have noticed anyone carrying a spoon-shaped trophy through the kitchen because, in her words, I may be 76, but I am not dead in the peripheral vision. That left a longer list of casual passers-by. Sylvia Park, who came in to drop off a library book, Arthur Bell, who spent half the morning wandering and looking for his crossword, Jean Holloway, who ran the knitting circle in room B, and one new gentleman named Lester, who had just moved into the Willow Court apartments and still wore his visitor name tag, as if uncertain whether he had officially joined the species. The first clue arrived at 10:52 when Frank found a streak of orange-brown paint on the edge of the craft room doorway. Copper, he said. Or bad pumpkin spice frosting. Evelyn leaned close. Paint, I think. On the floor beside the doorway sat a tiny silk sunflower petal. Doris inhaled sharply. Sunflower? That points directly at Jean Holloway. Her knitting room looks like Autumn married a craft store. It points at decor, Evelyn said. This building contains decor. Still, Jean Holloway was questioned. Jean, age 80, sharp as cut glass and twice as durable, listened to the accusation while calmly rolling yarn into a perfect ball. If I wanted the copper spoon, she said, I would win it honestly and then complain about the spray paint. Were you in the hall this morning? Evelyn asked. Of course. I crossed to the restroom.